Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever video on this brand new channel of mine, well, ours I suppose.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome to Top Hat Chat, a brand new YouTube channel where I will discuss various things, gaming and popular culture related and current affairs and all sorts of bits and pieces, I suppose, with my friend here, Luke Street. So, today I have decided that we are going to be discussing the classic Sonic the Hedgehog series that appeared on the Megadrive.
Surprisingly enough, I think that we may actually end up agreeing. The first video will start off on an agreeing step, and then I'm probably going to hate most of your opinions forthcoming.
Okay, prior to shooting this video, we both feel that the classic Sonic series on the Sega Megadrive is perhaps overrated somewhat. So before I give my reasons, let's hear some of yours.
I remember playing Sonic at different stages throughout my gaming life, and hating every moment of it. Well, it was really, really hard. I mean, I remember playing on the handhelds, and the screen was far too small, and there was a bit of screen blur, and you had no idea where you were half the time. It just became completely redundant actually playing it.
Okay, that sounds like Sonic Advance,
perhaps
on the Game Boy Advance, because I doubt you had a Sega Game Gear. You're too young.
No,
He's 4.5 years younger than me. You see, I grew up with a Sega Game Gear, and yes, I had Sonic experiences on that growing up. But yeah, for me, classic Sonic the Hedgehog, because many people regularly slate modern Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. But for me, I'd go as far as criticising these games too. I will say, first of all, you can have a lot of enjoyment out of these games. There's no question about that whatsoever, in my opinion. They are decent games. My issue is how rated they are. Like, I think people kind of blow them out of proportion. There's a lot of exaggerated hyperbole around them.
What other series were there around at the time?
Okay, as I mentioned previous times over on my own channel, I was really into gaming during the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo era. I had a Super Nintendo, but most people in my class and around the rest of the United Kingdom had Mega Drives instead. So Sonic Mania, to excuse the pun, was running wild around my school. Like all the children, they had Sonic lunch boxes and Sonic pencil cases. Sonic was literally everywhere I looked at school. I could not avoid Sonic the Hedgehog.
See, again, it wasn't so much like that. I mean, I grew up later than you, and by the time I was really playing a lot of games, again, it was PS1. That was when I really, really got into gaming. But going back and playing some of these now, it's just...
Okay, one confession regarding Sonic the Hedgehog. I will say that previously, to buying a Super Nintendo, an Amstrad CPC 464 was my main gaming platform, the old microcomputer. I went round at one of my school friends' houses, who was absolutely obsessed with Sonic, and I got to play Sonic the Hedgehog on his Mega Drive. Right. And I'll be honest, I was thoroughly blown away at the time. But I didn't really have much to draw inferences to in regards to other games, because my gaming palette at the time wasn't very sophisticated and was extremely limited. I went home, I said, "Mother and father, can I have a Sega Mega Drive, please?" They consulted my uncle, who was 12 years older than myself, so he had quite a lot of gaming knowledge, and he actually owned a Super Nintendo. And he said to my parents, "Don't get him a Sega Mega Drive, get him a Super Nintendo. It's newer and it's perhaps better." Like Street Fighter 2 was new on the market. The Star Fox game, which as you know was known as Star Wing in our region. So he ended up lending me his Super Nintendo with all his games, and ended up playing all of those, like Mario World, Star Wing, as I said, and Street Fighter 2. And I had a whale of a time, I must say. So in the end, I said to my parents, "Yes, I'll go for the Super Nintendo instead, please." But moving on from there and playing Sonic at a young age, I always built up this image that it was a really good game. However, when I became 16 years old and started going around to boot sales, I actually bought my own Mega Drive and got hold of the Sonic games really easily. But upon playing them at 16 years of age, I found they were really blown out of proportion. Like, they did not seem the same level and quality and detail of what we had in Mario World, for example, or Mario All-Stars.
Well, one of the good things about the Mario games was the fact of the diversity of all of the games.
Yeah, all completely different.
They all play differently. They've all got slightly different game mechanics, different power-ups. I don't remember much of that in the Sonic games. I mean, it all felt again, it felt to me, I didn't play massive amounts of it, but it all felt very linear. It was all the same thing all the time, and just get A to B as fast as you can. And
yeah, I suppose all of these games are quite similar. I know you got Sonic CD on the Mega CD as well, which is also very similar to these. So you had 5 games all released around the same period, which all play pretty similar. And on top of that as well, you had Sega Master System Sonic games and Game Gear Sonic games, and they played the same too. So you had about 10 different Sonic games in circulation, which all played pretty similar, which is overkill, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like what they do with Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty today. But it did not seem to hinder other youngsters' opinions in my era of Sonic the Hedgehog. They was absolutely obsessed with it. They was eating up the merchandise. And another thing as well, which I pointed out on my channel before, I didn't actually like Sonic the Hedgehog's attitude either. Like, if you look on the box, he's wagging his finger at me like I don't know. Why would he be wagging his finger at me? What do you think?
I don't know. You wag your finger at me quite a lot.
I know,
usually it's disapprovingly.
Exactly. He looks like he's wagging his finger at me disapprovingly.
Yeah.
Which he did basically every time.
You're getting the same one here. It's the arms folded.
Arms folded.
Yeah.
To me, that character, he looks like a twat.
To be fair, he looks like he could be you in game form.
Yeah, he looks really arrogant, doesn't he? So I've never gravitated to him because the character just looks so detestable and arrogant.
It's usually opposites that attract, I suppose. And that doesn't explain why I don't like Sonic. I don't see anything good about him. Like, he just feels characterless. He's just... Like, what's his story?
I suppose
what's the story arc in these games? What is the story?
Okay, this could be a whole video, and I don't... The story arc's interesting because I know it's, from what I'm aware of, it's evolved and changed over time. So they did have a story arc at one point in these games, and I know it's completely different canon now.
So what
changed the canon.
We're talking about these Sonic games at the moment. What is...
Like I said, they have a different canon now to what existed back in the day. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Sonic super fan, so I don't actually know the exact canons. All I know is it's changed dramatically.
For me, it just felt like the story was go from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, as far as you can. That's all it should have been, really. And then beat a boss.
But back to, like I said, Sonic's attitude.
By jumping on his head.
To Sonic's attitude, again, I think that's one of the things that turned me off most about the character. And Sega's whole marketing thing at the time, it was all about attitude. Like, for some reason, them and many other companies were encouraging children to basically be, like, disrespectful to adults. They was encouraging children to be rude. And I didn't like that personally. Even as a child,
Dennis the Menace era? Was that very
That's
Dennis
very
the Menace?
interesting. It is, isn't it? And Dennis the Menace is a lot earlier character. When was Dennis the Menace in it? 1950s?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Like, off the top of my head, no.
So that's interesting when you think about it. You've got 90s like radical attitude. Like we had it before that in the 1950s. Well, not in our time. We're not obviously not in our lifetime. Yeah, I've never really thought about that. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog is kind of like a Tesco value Dennis the Menace, isn't it? Oh, and
it's the spiky hair as well.
I've got to say one more thing as well. We may be confusing our American audience. They had that weird knockoff blonde Dennis the Menace, didn't they?
Did they not have Dennis the Menace?
They've got a different character called Dennis the Menace. Like literally completely they're not related.
Like the film?
Yes, the blonde one. It's not the same Dennis the Menace.
Oh my god!
We've got Dennis the Menace from the Beano. They have Dennis the Menace, that blonde guy who the old man used to tell him off all the time.
Can we find some bits now to put up like here so you can all see?
You've given me extra bloody work to do.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
No, I'll do this one.
Fine. Okay. Now we need a couple little boxes just here, just showing different caricatures of Dennis the Menace, just so everybody can see. Maybe some links in the description if we can find some footage on YouTube.
Yeah, we get some Dennis the Menace nonsense, but yes,
you're welcome.
Back to Sonic, as I was saying. Like I said, I did not find the character particularly endearing, and I think, like I said, while some children were really into Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't feel it was his attitude what drew people in.
No.
Do you?
No.
Like, I think, to me, this was the perfect example of like baby boomers. You know the term baby boomer.
Yeah.
It was basically how baby boomers thought children of the era was thinking. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Which could be why someone like Dennis the Menace.
Maybe.
That's where they got the character from. It was their crap 1950s characters who would have inspired them within the marketing of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good theory.
Did you ever complete any of these games?
I haven't. Yeah, no, that's a lie. I finished just this one. And I'll tell you the reason why I finished this one, but not the first two. This one features a save feature.
Ah, right, okay, so there is a reason. How long did that take you?
I've done it as an adult.
Yeah, I know, but like, roughly.
Honestly, you die sometimes. 4 hours maybe.
4 hours. So even the length of the games wasn't particularly.
Oh, no retro games are particularly long, are they?
No.
Well, saying that, Mario World, that did have
Mario
a lot
World
of
was
levels,
massive.
didn't it? Where these never had
Even
depth of content. No.
In fact, pretty much all the Mario games had a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, Sonic 3 is a much smaller
Yeah.
game than Mario World and Yoshi's Island.
But that
as well.
was competition at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, what made Sonic better than the Mario? Better than the Mario games?
Well, it wasn't better, was they? That's what we're saying. The
That's what I'm
Mario
saying.
games were better. Yeah, you've got
But
the
they
words
must
twisted.
No,
the
no,
Mario words were better.
What I'm trying to say is, what makes them better? Why did this sell well in certain places? Why were people so up with Sonic and hated? Or didn't play Mario? Like,
Well, yeah, I
make
did
sense.
used to get some grief in the playground from other children
Yeah.
who loved Sonic the Hedgehog and say, "Why do you own a Nintendo? Nintendo is the baby's toy," sort of thing.
No, but it just.
But this
lack
was
of
the thing.
understanding.
I will say that they was actually lying, and I think they were jealous of me because they would actually come. They would actually come back to my house, and then they'd be begging to play on my Super Nintendo. So they'd be all in school. "Ooh, the Megadrive is better than the Super Nintendo." The minute they get to my house, "I was only joking, saying that Mario was bad. Please let me play Mario World. Please let me play." That's basically what would happen.
Yeah.
So I think it was just jealous children. It's kind of like today when I suppose what's a good comparison when people try and say that I can't. No, there wasn't a good comparison.
I suppose Battlefield and Call of Duty and
I
as far
suppose
as different
you do
games
get
and stuff.
idiots who try and claim the PS4 is better than the Xbox One.
Yeah.
The Xbox One's
Yeah, you
better
do
than the
get
PS4. But now it is idiotic because they are pretty much the same platform.
They pretty much have been most of the time for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah,
I mean,
well back then you was getting two very different products.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of Sonic itself being overrated, that's it for me. They're decent games, but they do not compete with Mario.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't understand how. Well, I do understand how they did, but it's crazy that they managed to pull that off. Really.
Yeah, and trick children into thinking that
They had a superior
They had a
product when
yeah.
they had a far inferior
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
It's amusing. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I've got to say about these games. Is they are good, but they're not amongst. You can't put them in the top bracket as some of the best games of all time. No chance in my.
I mean,
opinion.
to be honest, I'd probably skip Sonic and play other things.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's much better offerings on the Mega Drive. Even Rystar, for example. You heard of Rystar?
Yeah, I played Rystar.
That game, in my opinion, it's made by Sonic Team, I think, and it looks graphically like Sonic, but I think overall a lot more fun gaming experience. I prefer Rystar.
Rystar was a good game.
And there's a lot of games on for on the Mega
Very
Drive to Sonic, like Dynamite Heady, Gunstar Heroes, Castlevania New Generations.
You've got them all there. You can literally.
I've got bloody.
You can
hundreds.
pick half of them, and they're better than.
They're
this.
better than Sonic, yes. So, classic Sonic, overrated. Yes, I think we can conclude it there.
100%.
So, this has been Top Hat Chat. Let us know in the comment section with what other subjects you would like to hear us discuss in detail. Also, do you agree with us that the classic Sonic series is overrated? Or do you think we are talking completely out of our asses? Let us know in the comment section. Cheerio!